What happens when we have this mysterious, lovely lady in your first house? First off, what's your Lagna or Ascendant or your rising sign first house? Essentially, it's your physical body, part of your personality. It sets the map of your life. It also shows what your primary thought is throughout the day. It's like the reoccurring thought that pops in your head. Like it's something that you constantly think about in some way, shape, or form. Then what's Lilith? Lilith is a mathematical point, just like Rahu and Ketu, a shadow planet, or the nodes of the moon. It represents the unknown, it represents seduction, it represents mystery. It also represents how one gets acts of vengeance done, as well as where one's true power lies in. And it also shows if true Lilith is going to be more willing to work with you or not even look at you. So what happens when we have her in the first house? In my opinion, this is the strongest position to have Black Moon Lilith in. Why is that? You're giving a divine a physical body, which is something they want. So what happens when divinity takes form? They get fulfilled to the highest degree. And specifically with Lilith, an entity that has immense self-empowerment and does as she likes, being given a physical body, she has no limitations now. And I believe in this position, she gets directional strength, meaning that she has a clear way of knowing where to go, how to best exert herself. And also depending on the sign, but if you have a Lilith in the first house in Aries, you have the strongest Lilith in my opinion. So the effects of having Lilith in the first house, you can see somebody just pull people towards them without even doing anything. They exist and people just come to them like flies to a blue light with no explanation. They just come closer and they even think, why am I getting attracted to this person for whatever reason? Why is this happening? And even they might even think, why are people coming closer to me and closer? I have Lilith in the first house and that happens to me too much. People don't know their personal space. And also, in this position, one's sense of true empowerment lies within thyself. And essentially, Lilith being an extremely independent entity that does as she likes, when she has empowerment within herself, or in the first house, she's like, no, duh, of course. So she automatically feels like, obviously, so she gets much more power being in that position. And depending on which zodiac sign is your rising sign, you can have a Aquarius rising, which is a sign that's actually very rebellious. And having Lilith in the first in Aquarius can show someone being extremely rebellious and wanting to be their own unique thing and express themselves uniquely. And also be in a way that seduces other people in a very unique way. But in the first house, one's way of seducing others is by making one's appearance tantalize someone and captivate someone into actually offering to do something for them. And all they did was just make themselves more appealing. It also shows that one's trauma is most of the time self-inflicted. I'm just saying, that's how it is. And I have to say that's true for me. I admit it. Takes a lot of courage to do that. As well, this is actually one of the positions, in my opinion, that is one of the most likely, if not probably the most, kind of approvals of Lilith saying that, yeah, she'll work with you. But then again, you have to actually approach her yourself, or she'll come to you. So, the houses that she is more likely to work with you are the following. First house, 4th, 8th, 10th, and 12th. That's it. No other houses. The 4th house, because that's the house of mother. When you have Black Moon Lilith in your 4th house of mother, pretty much where it's your mother, Lilith pretty much is like, that's my kid. 8th house. Well, she actually naturally co-rules the sign of Scorpio, which is the natural 8th house. So Lilith in there shows that she will most likely come to you whenever you practice occult workings. 10th house, essentially your everyday, pretty much your work and service to society as a whole, and your reputation involves her in some way, shape, or form. And then the 12th house, the house of being like spirituality, astral plane, other dimensions. Well, you have Lilith actually behind you, like not in your head, but right behind you in the unseen world. So she becomes a good help in that regard. But pretty much, as well, another thing too, while I'm thinking about it, one may also dress in a way that's a pretty more darker than usually how everybody dresses. They might like to wear more blacks, more dark reds, dark blues, dark purples, and they actually might like dressing goth in that way. Or they might dress in ways that is kind of a bit more on the darker side. It's actually a really good position to have. It's just that one has to understand that most of the time when they've experienced trauma, most of the time, not all the time, it's because they chose a path that was going to cause the pain in the first place. So anyway, this is Lilith in the Lagna, or the 1st house. So one of these days I will be putting up a live. I'm not sure when, but it's on the way. And other than that, and pretty much really that's all I had to really say about this position. I guess I'll talk to you guys on the next one, where we see Lilith in the 2nd.